This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 4. Coverage you can count on.
Right now at 4, Governor Ron DeSantis says another Florida resident has tested positive for the coronavirus.
Had been traveling in Asia, has been self-isolating.
What he and health officials are revealing about this new case and how many people are being monitored in Orange County. Plus, we have more in-depth coverage on what's being done right now to prepare for the illness in Central Florida and the new help from Congress in the fight. We are not yet sure where that Florida resident who tested positive lives, but they're currently being isolated out of the state. Good afternoon. I'm Greg Warmoth.
I'm Vanessa Eccles. Now, over the next 2.5 hours, you'll hear from our whole team of reporters spread out across Central Florida. They're covering every angle about what leaders are doing to prepare if the coronavirus is confirmed here. We begin with Channel 9's Lauren Seabrook, who spoke with the governor in Orange County today. And Lauren, he said we do have some challenges here in potentially keeping people with the virus out.
Vanessa, that's because we have more than 1 million tourists in our city every single day. People from all over the world want to visit our theme parks, our convention center, and beaches across Central Florida. So our local health officials are keeping a close eye on several people. Of the coronavirus tests given in Orange County so far, all came back negative, but 30 people are in isolation here. Can you tell us anything about the 30 people who you're monitoring?
No, we cannot tell any information about those people, but those numbers are decreasing by day because the number of travelers are decreasing. But also, you know, we only watch them for 14 days. Dr. Raul Pino says the people they're monitoring were identified by the federal government when they traveled into our state as possibly being exposed to COVID-19.
People from all over the world want to come right here in Orlando. And so I think the folks here have been working very hard. It clearly presents challenges.
There are still 3 people in our state who have the coronavirus, but the governor says a Florida resident tested positive in Washington and will return to our state after they fight off the virus. Governor, what part of the state is that resident from?
We don't know yet. We got a call from the Department of Health in Washington State letting us know that it was a Florida resident. We believe it was somebody that had been traveling in Asia, probably in China, and so they're under self-isolation.
He says the risk to our Central Florida communities remains low. And today we're also learning the CDC cleared the woman in Hillsborough County to fly here after being in Italy and complaining of symptoms. We're speaking with the governor about what other travel restrictions he would like to see here in Florida. For Eyewitness News at 5. Vanessa.
And today, local leaders met in Orlando to make sure they are prepared to quickly respond if there's an outbreak here in Central Florida. Channel 9's Steve Barrett was in that meeting and continues our in-depth coverage. And officials told him they just want to make sure that they are ready to help residents if needed.
Today, Orange County Fire Rescue showed us the kind of vehicle they might send to transport someone who may have the coronavirus. They can protect themselves with suits that are on board. And take a look inside of the vehicle here. Heavy gauge plastic is protecting the entire inside of it. And then after the transport is over, this unit right here would disinfect the entire inside of the ambulance.
So we appreciate the leadership.
This morning in Orlando, it was part roundtable planning session for emergency response managers and part show and tell for the media. It's a chance to demonstrate what might happen if coronavirus is suspected or confirmed in the Orlando area and reveal how firefighters and EMTs are already taking precautions.
Making sure that in the stations, they know that they're washing their hands, they know that they're, after calls especially, making sure that they're deconning, taking the proper steps there, making sure that they have enough of the respirator mask, the goggles, the gloves.
State CFO Jimmy Petronas met with fire chiefs and other local leaders to make sure lines of communication are wide open before Florida sees an increase in cases.
Low probability of being a significant threat in the state of Florida, but that's the case because these men and women and the men and women that they lead are so well trained in their expertise of how to handle a potential threat like this.
There's seemingly no end to the number of details that can be worked out before an emergency. Details that are even more important in public places like Orlando International Airport, one of the more likely places COVID-19 might suddenly appear.
We are making sure that every day they get a briefing. This is a dynamic thing. It's moving quickly. The regions that are suspect are changing every day, so we're making sure we're in front of them with that.
And of course, all of this protective gear can be very scary if you see it. That's why at places like the airport, what they'll do is they'll put that on as they get closer to the patient so that fewer people in the airport see them in it, fewer people tending to panic. Reporting in Orlando, Steve Barrett, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
And today we also talk with a local gym about what it's doing to prepare in case of the coronavirus. We're putting that part of the story together for 425. And the Florida Department of Health has opened a call center to answer any questions that residents or visitors might have about the illness. The number to call is 1-866-779-6121. That center is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 7 p.m.
Breaking in the last few minutes, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed up more than 1,000 points. The surge followed Joe Biden's primary wins and a funding agreement on Capitol Hill to battle the coronavirus outbreak. Today, the Trump administration rolled out new travel procedures for the coronavirus, saying it is safe to fly to most countries. And ABC's Megan Tevrezian reports the overall U.S. death toll is now at least 10 people.
At the White House today, President Trump and Vice President Pence meeting with airline CEOs about new travel guidelines in the wake of the coronavirus.
All passengers on all direct flights from all airports in Italy or South Korea are being screened on multiple times before they board any of these airlines.
The president trying to reassure Americans.
And large portions of the world are very safe to fly.
This comes as Los Angeles County declares a state of emergency with 6 new cases and California's first death.
We need every tool at our disposal to make sure we're ready to support any coronavirus patients who are diagnosed and to prevent any further spread.
4 additional cases of COVID-19 confirmed in New York as well, bringing that state's total to 6. The additional New York cases tied to a 50-year-old patient from Westchester County, his wife, 2 of his children, and his neighbor who drove him to the hospital.
It is an imperfect science, especially when you have a situation like this one where you have a person who may have contacted so many people.
There are now more than 110 cases of the novel virus across the country, at least 15 states affected. The death toll rising. Archdioceses across the country asking parishioners to suspend physical contact during Lent. The virus impacts being felt across the world, with more than 93,000 cases. In Italy, all schools and universities will close tomorrow through March 15th. In Paris, the Louvre reopened today after being closed since Sunday. Megan Tevrizian, ABC News, New York.
Vice President Pence says there are now over 1.5 million coronavirus test kits available at hospitals throughout the United States. Today, Capitol Hill negotiators reached an agreement on an $8.3 billion measure to battle coronavirus here in the U.S. It triples the plan unveiled by President Trump last week. The House will vote on the deal later today, and Senate leaders are pressing for a vote by the end of the week. The president is expected to sign that measure.
And tomorrow night, we'll be here to answer your questions about coronavirus live and give you the accurate information you need. We've assembled a team of medical experts and local government leaders to help keep your family safe and prepared. Send us your questions through social media and our radio partner, News 96.5 WDBO. Coronavirus, your questions answered live tomorrow at 8 p.m. right here on Channel 9.